My name is Jacqueline Guerrero, and today I will be talking about the social learning theory. According to the social learning theory, the brainchild of Edwin Sutherland, deviant behavior is learned through one's interaction with others. More specifically, Sutherland developed the theory of differential association to explain how the learning of deviance comes about. Sutherland introduced this theory more than 60 years ago. The main idea of this theory is, if an individual associates with people who embrace conventional ideas, the individual is likely to become deviant. Two things should be noted in the statement. One being that although deviants typically hold deviant ideas, the people who hold deviant ideas do not have to be deviants. They can be anyone, including those who have not committed any deviance. What counts is purely the idea of deviance. The second thing that should be noted is the theory does not refer to only one type of association, that is, deviant association or exposure to deviant ideas. This means just because a person has lots of contact with deviant ideas doesn't mean they will become deviant. The theory instead refers to both deviant and conventional contacts, or the excess of deviant over conventional contacts. This means it is okay to have both kinds of contacts, only if we have a greater number of deviant contacts than conventional ones are we likely to become deviant. This is suggested by the term differential association, which refers to the fact that deviant association with deviant individuals and ideas differs from their association with conventional ones. Other sociologists presented different versions of this theory. One is Daniel Glaser. According to Glaser, Sutherland's theory actually conveys a mechanistic image of deviance. This image shows the individual as being mechanically pushed into deviant involvement by an association with deviance. It ignores the individual's role-taking and choice-making ability. Glaser tries to correct this image by suggesting that the experience of associating with deviance is harmless unless the individual identifies with them. Glaser suggests that deviance is likely to occur if differential identification intervenes between differential association and deviant behavior. According to sociologists Robert Burkes and Ronald Akers, Sutherland failed to specify what the learning process consists of. In trying to correct this failure, Burkes and Akers offer the idea of differential reinforcement as the substance of that learning process. Deriving their idea from a well-known psychology theory, the theory says that we are motivated to continue behaving in a certain way if we have been rewarded for doing so, or to discontinue the behavior if we are punished for it. For example, thieves who rob houses, they'll keep doing it because they keep being rewarded by it with the things that they rob, and if they're not caught, they'll continue to do it. When applied to deviant behavior, reinforcement theory says that people will continue to engage in deviant activities if they have been rewarded for doing so. One aspect of reinforcement theory that is most relevant to the Burkes-Akers reformulation of Sutherland's differential association theory is the law of differential reinforcement. When applied to deviant behavior, this law would explain that individuals choose deviance over conventionality if they find deviance more satisfying than conventionality, only if they have been exposed to deviant ideas more than to conventional ideas. There have been critiques of this theory. First, it is difficult to determine precisely what differential association in Sutherland's theory is in real-life situations. People can't identify where and who they learn deviant ideas from. Sociologists have not found any empirical support for Sutherland's theory, but only for their own interpretations. Second, Glaser's differential identification theory appears to have received some support from empirical data, but there is no conclusive evidence that identification with delinquent friends is the cause of delinquency or occurs before the person becomes delinquent. Third, the Burkes-Akers differential reinforcement theory cannot explain why a person initially commits a deviant act. However, it is useful for explaining repeated deviance.